When Mother's Day means celebrating your mom, your wife, maybe even your daughter as a new mom, trust 1-800-Flowers to help you celebrate every important woman in your life. With double blooms from 1-800-Flowers, order 1 dozen roses and get another dozen for free. It's a simple way to give beautifully, with colorful blooms that make Mother's Day feel meaningful. For every mom you're celebrating, order with confidence and get double blooms at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the 10-Minute Marvel Podcast, where we talk Marvel TVs, movies, comic books, the whole shebang. And today we're going to be talking Daredevil Born Again Episode 5 and CinemaCon. What Marvel, and actually Sony, had there. I realize that's what I'm missing from my news notes, is what Sony had there.
Oh.
So we'll do that on the fly. So I shared a little bit. But I'm your host, Petter, and joining me, as sometimes, always,
but sometimes also, it's Greg, everybody. Thank you for coming back. I am the Vanessa to this Kingpin show.
I would agree.
Well, that's good. All right. Yeah, excited to be back. Excited for another episode. There's lots to talk about. There's lots to discuss. There's lots of little bits of news, I guess, and kind of excited to talk about Daredevil. So, But first, the important stuff, the intro. If you're looking for ways to support us, you can find us on our YouTube channel. Search 10 Minute Marvel. Give us a like and thumb smash. Smash it with all you got. That subscribe button. Find and follow us on Facebook and that other thing with an X. That's hashtag 10MinMarvel. Again, hashtag 10MinMarvel, people. And of course, you can leave a rating and review wherever you get your neighborhood friendly neighborhood podcast from. All right, mouth guards in, Petter.
Yep.
Let's kick into those that large batch of news, shall we?
All righty. So kicking off, of course, as always, with rumors.
Of course.
Alpha Flight. Are you ready for the Canadians to start avenging?
Yeah, somebody's got to keep us in line.
Show, movie, project of some sort with Alpha Flight. What do you think of that?
We're in rumors, so we have a potential something movie show for Alpha Flight. Okay.
Do you know the team members of Alpha Flight?
I will here in a moment once my Google search comes up.
So current members: Guardian, Marina, Puck, Snowbird, and Vindicator. Leaders have been Vindicator, Guardian, North Star, different forms of Guardian. Probably the most notable former member of Alpha Flight being, of course, Yukon Jack, or maybe Wolverine. They're really close between those two.
Okay. So Guardian, we're talking not the Red Guardian, different Guardian.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm bringing up the page. I don't recognize many of these people.
No, I would not expect you to. Sasquatch, Sunfire, Wolverine, Wild Child, maybe you'd recognize.
Nope.
Probably not Major Maple Leaf.
Nope. Are there twins in there? I feel like I'm looking at Alpha, like a picture, and it looks like there's two twins, or it's a brother-sister pair.
I'm not sure if there is.
Who's a little dude? There's a little guy in there too. That's not Sasquatch. Puck. Oh, Puck. Not from MTV's Real World Season 1. That's where I was going. Well, I don't know. I don't care about this, honestly. It could be fun, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Came out of nowhere for me. So being that I don't care doesn't mean that this couldn't have a lot of potential in being fun, because I think when you do something like this, if you are interested in these kind of in the superhero franchises, having these guys, these offset characters, can actually work really well if you get the right people to write and the right directors, just as James Gunn kind of crushed with Guardians. So
I think
Yeah.
lesser known teams, there's much more pressure to perform well with the Avengers and for an Avengers movie to feel a certain way.
Mhm. I was hoping to get
I
some of
got
their
no expectations for Alpha Flight.
right. And so anything kind of goes, right?
Hmm.
You don't have to hold to certain, I don't know, like where you can get kind of chained down by a character and their power set and whatnot, and maybe just their story. You won't have that necessarily with this because people are gonna be like, I don't know who that is. Well, do what you want, right?
Yep,
So I was trying to read through some of their power sets, but I was
it's a lot.
curious. What's
And especially since you don't know what the team actual composition is going to be. I will say I don't hate it as the landing spot for Wolverine for a while.
It'd be kind of fun.
It's it kind of hits that thing of I don't need Wolverine to be the main character of the new X-Men stuff coming out. So give that character somewhere else to be, and I think people will be concerned about it less. The other rumor is that Marvel is planning a shorter wait between Avengers movies, moving forward with the focus on building and developing a team versus big crossover events. Greg and I were texting a little bit on this. Uh, First, some confusion, and then a one-word response from Greg. But obviously, we knew we were going to be talking about this on the podcast here. But my understanding of how that kind of is written, this doesn't have anything to do with Doomsday or Secret Wars. This has to do with post Secret Wars in the new universe that comes out of it. That I guess really like between Infinity War and now, we had a few team up movies, but it was like very one off stuff. Eternals, Thunderbolts, really. That's and I mean, you could argue a little bit of Captain America: Brave New World, but that was very focused on Cap and Falcon was there, sort of thing.
Mhm.
So this is going to more be like how we got some character movies that led into Avengers. Then we got a few more characters movies that led into Avengers: Age of Ultron, and then we got some more character movies, more characters introduced, things like that. And that led into the culmination of the Infinity Saga, as compared to this saga where the multiverse saga, where it's just two Avengers films, just being the films that cap it off. Thoughts, Greg?
Mm, I I think changing gears a little bit is not such a bad idea.
Hmm. And
I
really, it's
it's
going
a,
back to what they did.
yeah, I which has kind of been the theme. I don't know, which scares me a little bit, but maybe it calls for it at this point. Maybe that's how X-Men should be. Like,
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
more.
instead of a
I
crossover events, like if that's the goal, I'd work more on the characters and
mhm.
the team aspect there, I guess. So that's
Yeah,
why Avengers, or I'm sorry, X-Men, that's why it seems right to me.
yeah. Well, and I think to me this also kind of falls into the area of Chapek versus non-Chapek because
Possibly.
it's not Bob Iger isn't the head anymore, or he's stepping down very soon. But the person who's taking over for him this time is very much more so in the vein of Iger. And I think they saw what happened when you tried to extend, when you tried to rush, when you tried to plan everything out so huge. And I mean, I think that makes sense. Like even comic book wise, like you think of everything leading up to uh, big events. Oftentimes, there's not that much lead up to it. They'll drop a few things in a few key comics and then jump into a big story. So I'm here for that. Like I didn't need to know or think like, okay, for sure we're getting Infinity War and Endgame, like that combination of things, and spend a ton of time on that. We knew it was coming, but yeah, that's fine.
All right, what else we got?
So then we're moving over to the news, and the news starts off with the Spider-Man stuff that we could not get to in time this past week because Sony was slow.
I'm surprised that was all the rumors that we had.
There wasn't a
Did,
ton on the rumor front.
there was, I was just watching something. They were talking about Oscar Isaacs. Oscar Isaac and how they were doing kind of interview with him about some Star Wars stuff, and then some, and the person interviewing him asked about Daredevil, Moon Knight, and
Hmm.
is that in your news? I guess it seems like it's more of a rumor to me,
It's
but
very much like they were talking to him about like, oh, what would Midnight Suns or something like that be like? It's it's a very hypothetical question that was presented to him, it seemed like.
it did, and it didn't. The answer to me, like he was saying, how they have to be careful about how they do this topic because it has to do with PTSD and it has to do with multiple personality disorder, or whatever they made. I don't know what they call it. Maybe it's different now, but to me, I was like, I think he's just answering as like you wanting to write this character in a good way, and you're not being and you're being sensitive to those that go through
Yeah.
this, right?
Hmm.
Because you don't want to, I don't know, make fun of that necessarily, and you want to do a good job with it. So, but I didn't really take it as he was really actively, or anybody was actively working on it.
Yeah.
So that's how I took it. It kind of went. Some of the other people on the panel were like, "Oh, well, I think it's, he was hinting at more of the
Yeah.
Marvel side."
I don't, I mean, he's going to get questions about that until Marvel officially says the character of Moon Knight is never coming back again with Oscar Isaacs. Like, he's going to get those panel questions wherever he goes.
Yeah. It,
So
it was
it's
just
just,
how they interpreted it was weird to me. It
mhm.
may be just the way I heard it because they may have heard it differently in their head. But
Yeah. No,
anyways,
that's my problem with a lot of the, and why don't do a ton of content with like somebody interviewing about something about like the would you like to come back as the character sort of thing? Because yes, they
they all
want to
do.
come back as the character because Marvel pays them a lot of money.
Right.
You would
Yeah,
say no to that.
they have to save face on all that stuff. Like whether they really
Mhm.
want to or not,
Right.
they want to make it an option. So it's
Hmm.
kind of
Yeah, so let's move on to CinemaCon, starting with Spider-Man stuff. There was a new Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, though from the sounds of it, it was a fair amount of footage that had already been seen, with just a little bit extra added into it. Do you have
oh
any
really?
other insights?
Where would they have seen it before?
No, we've seen a Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking Into the Spider-Verse. Sorry.
Yes.
These
And
headphones are really tight on my head, so
yeah,
it's squishing.
Into the Spider-Verse, though, showed the first several minutes of the movie.
Hmm. That's what I was
Uh,
thinking. I'm like, when would
mhm.
they have shown that? Okay.
Yes. And they have not shown that anywhere before. Didn't hear a ton, or don't remember hearing a ton on that. Some of it is that occurred a week ago. So there's been
I
plenty of other things covered.
I think Koi covered a little bit of it.
There's certainly people who did. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
But I mean, what I heard was it looked fantastic. Like the look of
Hmm.
it and the animation style, they came at it, I think maybe even a little different angle this time.
Okay.
And so I guess visually it's pretty sweet. And I don't know, it's got some people amped from what I hear.
Yeah, which, I mean, makes sense because, I mean, we've been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised at all by that.
Could be a perfect trilogy.
Mm.
Could be. Did
Could
you
be.
like the first one?
I did.
Would
The second one is the one that I didn't like as well
you
because I
just
didn't
wanted
feel
it to end differently. You wanted it to not be the middle the yeah, I know I remember you talking about this, how it's just kind of this middle piece that could have maybe actually been
it doesn't have a true end
yeah.
to it. Hi, podcast dog.
See? I knew it. I knew you could hear. Like it's
Well, that
like
one was loud.
yeah. It's like it's right like she's right next to me right now. She's not, she's upstairs. Um anyways,
But yeah, we actually I think just had the conversation a couple episodes ago, kind of about my opinion of trilogies and why oftentimes you have to look at the second and third part of a trilogy as a combined thing, just because a lot of the times you don't plan for things to be a trilogy. You create a standalone first story, and they're like, oh, and then we want to turn it into a trilogy. So you create a both parts of the rest of the trilogy, but it's one giant story, and you just pick a spot to cut it. And you don't have the climax, you don't have a proper resolve to that element of the story or to that story until you get the next one, which worked okay-ish in Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3 because they came out really close to each other. They're not great films, but certainly not on par with the first one. But if you watch them together as a whole, they came out close to get enough together you could do that. Spider-Verse has years between the films. And so that's what disappointed me some on the second one is like, okay, I guess it's fine. And I enjoyed the film a lot, but it didn't feel like a complete standalone, this is its story. And you're muted.
Sorry, podcast dog. I was saying that's fair. It didn't bother me in that sense. I know it's a good point that you're making, and I understand it. I think it didn't. Yeah, it felt like a good place to end. So it was
I,
fine with me. But
I I do agree, like in terms of honestly, if it had been released like Daredevil Born Again, like that's a perfect end to an episode when you're getting something the next week, not 3 years from now.
yeah, 3 years is a bit long. 2 years, I guess. I was hoping they would be able to do it a little sooner, of course. But
Yes. I mean, Sony was hoping they would do it in what, a year?
yeah, that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
They made it part of the way through, and they scrapped it, and then they're back at it, and yeah.
Yeah. So then moving forward in CinemaCon, there was a Doomsday trailer that, of course, still has yet to be released to the public, much to everybody's chagrin. Uh, I don't get it why they haven't released it. If
I
it's
don't
ready,
either.
show it at CinemaCon. And then actually, there were rumors that it was going to be released today.
Oh, really?
Didn't happen. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I guess maybe release it a week after CinemaCon, something like that. But now both of us watched videos on the trailer.
Hmm.
So we know somewhat what's going to be in there. But at the same time, I feel like having listened to that, all I want is the trailer to come out now so that I can actually enjoy it.
Do you think they'd cut just a totally different trailer? Or maybe they use parts of that and not all of
I
it, and so
mean,
maybe they're recutting it? Because I don't know why you wouldn't release it either. They have the reasons, right?
mhm.
But I can't quite figure them out. So
I mean, I'm sure the reason is probably something like we only want to release a certain number of trailers for this because we don't want to show too much. If we release too many trailers, we're going to have to continue to add footage to them, continue to add dialogue to them, and we don't want to show too much. So they probably have a specific, like, this is kind of the story arc of the trailers being released. What's the proper timeline for that?
yeah,
Let's just release it, guys. If you're gonna
I don't
show it
know.
one spot, release it.
I
And then we'll talk about it for 3 months until you release the next one. You don't have to have something coming on the heels of it.
So what is the normal case? Is it 6 months, 3 months, and then, or is it more like 3 months? The hey, this is happening. Then they get a little closer. Let's say they're at a month away. Then they give another trailer that's got more of the details rather than just the gloss over of
Hmm.
like, here's what it looks like. Here's some characters in there. Does that second one give obviously more? Is that how it used to be? Because I'm trying to remember.
I think that is kind of what it's been recently. I would say maybe like 4 months out, they release a trailer because what we just got at the end of March, the brand new Day trailer.
Right.
So March to April, April to May, May to June, June, July, 4 months.
So
And then about a month later, they'll release the story trailer. And then in that like a month to go, they'll release another trailer. And then they'll kind of release some clips, that sort of thing.
So maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe it's, they got some hype going.
Mhm.
It stirred the pot a little bit, and now it's going to be another little while, and then they're going to dish out the cheese.
Are they going to
Sorry.
wait till August? I mean, for sure, they're going to have a Doomsday trailer with Brand New Day. I can't
Hmm.
imagine, like, but that's basically August. It's coming out at the very end of July. But I think you release it before then. I really do. I think that, well, because when is Comic-Con?
Yeah, I heard they're doing Comic-Con.
Yep.
That's
So
happening
23rd through 26th.
July.
Yep. And that's when does Brand New Day come out? Is it that weekend? Or is
Uh,
it slightly after that? I think it's slightly after that.
after you're thinking like the fourth week of July? I thought it was like
July
16th.
31st.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's the week after. So yeah, that might be when they release the Doomsday trailer. Is at Comic-Con.
That
Kind of
makes some
feeling it.
sense. I mean that so yeah, I'm not gonna get my hopes up, I don't think. I think that they're
Hmm.
gonna just I think they're trying to bring it back to a little bit more of the way it has been in the past with doing it closer to the actual release date. Kind of on the same
Now,
cadence as
yeah,
they
now that's the very normal cadence. I do think with Infinity War, there was maybe more further out than that, but I just don't know. Well, I was gonna say I don't know when they'd do that, but now I'm looking up somebody else or something else.
but I'm saying they're gonna go back. It's not what they've done in the past. I think they might scrap that and just do it a little bit closer to the release date. So like that 4 month.
But that's what they've done in the past. Like that is the cadence of
Oh,
Brand
that's
New
okay.
Day. That's the cadence of Thunderbolts. I'm wondering if we will get the trailer. I'm gonna say June 5th.
So
And
not Comic-Con.
I think we're gonna get our first trailer June 5th. Then they'll give us a second trailer at Comic-Con with some new stuff in it. The reasoning I have for it, June 5th is game two of the NBA Finals on a Friday.
Hmm.
Release it at halftime. That's that's my guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
And obviously that's just a guess. I think for something this big, especially like with some of the reactions to the trailer and just how overwhelmingly positive and emotional they were, that I build the hype sooner. Build the hype sooner rather than later. But I do
Hmm.
think like if I were a betting person, I would bet Comic-Con is when it's released.
I mean that makes more sense, even though it goes a little bit early than what I was thinking they would do. But well, they also have D23,
They
right?
have
That's August,
D23, the August or September, I forget which.
which
Um,
that's more.
but what are they going to do at Comic-Con? I mean, yes, you're going to have Spider-Man Brand New Day stuffish there, but that's Sony Marvel.
It'll be
So
X-Men
it's
focused. X-Men cast.
they're going to do all of that and then a couple weeks later undercut. I I think it's going to be more like some of the Comic Cons where they've brought like really focused it in, like the one where they was super focused in on the Fantastic Four and we got that first trailer.
But why would you do it in June and then undercut Comic-Con with potential?
But because you're releasing a new trailer there. You have, in fact, it actually, I think it would help Comic-Con because if it hasn't been released, if there hasn't been a trailer released yet, then Comic-Con has to be like 100% Doomsday focused. And I still think it's going to be 100% Doomsday focused. But if you've already released your first trailer and everybody's not anticipating that you're going to release your first trailer at Comic-Con, you have the ability and the option to do other things, like you said, X-Men cast, or announce the secret movie in between stuff, or honestly, do a little bit on Secret Wars in there as well. Like talk about some of the cast for that.
Yeah. Also Black Panther or whatever. Yeah. You said
Hmm.
that other movie, right? Doctor Strange,
Right.
whatever it's gonna be.
Right.
I don't know.
It's going to be
That's
nothing, but
I need a big long like I need like a 2 year timeline and then just everything
there's
on there and
there's a
then
0% chance that we will ever get one of those again.
no, I'm just saying for me. So me, I can see it and then I can plan out, well, I think it's gonna be this and then that. And I need a visual. I'm a visual learner, so there we
Hmm. Like I said, there's a 0% chance we're going to get that again
go.
because Disney learned their lesson from that massive timeline graphic.
To make my to give some sort of an idea of what of where I think this trailer, the first one, is going to drop.
Hmm.
I need like
Oh,
a
that's what you need
whiteboard. I need a whiteboard or
for
something
just
where
for the trailer job, not for
yeah,
like
yeah.
just from
Not
now until
I don't need
now until.
Marvel's
Hmm.
thing. I just need my own for my own visual. So
So you basically you just need to look at a calendar from that has every day from now until Comic-Con with major events
yeah,
posted on it.
but I got to do it more house style where I bring it's a whiteboard, right? Like the
Hmm.
show house, and then I map out the things of it, what it could be, and then get to scratch out what it can't be, and
Hmm.
it's a whole thing. I
It's
make fun of
lupus.
people. Yeah, it's yes, yes. Finally, it's finally lupus, people. There's another one.
Uh,
Sarcoidosis.
uh,
Sarcoidosis. That was the other one
mhm.
that they never ended up being.
So let's actually talk about the trailer a little bit here. Spoilers if you don't like, if you want to hold out and just watch it when it comes out. So spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. You have been warned. Spoilers. Now skip ahead about 5 minutes and come
Please,
back.
yeah, please come back.
So trailer, probably just some highlight things. Believe you see an incursion, like Patrick Stewart's Dr. Charles Xavier. I almost said Doctor Strange. I was like, no, that's not right.
Hmm.
Charles Xavier
He's a
looking
doctor, I'm
out
sure.
an incursion, seemingly like the red motif being incursion events. The scene that we see in the trailer, the Wakandan trailer, you see that Telecon is now in the desert. You see that, yeah,
Well, it
the
looks like it's
water
in the
has
it looks
water
like it's
has
in the
been pushed
desert. Yeah.
water has been pushed back from it.
So technically it's the
Um,
ocean.
right, it's in the ocean, but it is dry. The
Yes.
Fantastic Four, there's more of them there. Sue's there. Herbie, key
Okay.
characters.
Can
I'm not going to
keep
ruin
going. Keep going. Oh, I'm gonna ask
it.
later.
Then there's a fairly big kind of voiceover work by Thor that's supposed to be very, like, was done probably the most serious that Thor has ever been.
Yeah, like pre-battle, gotta go
Mhm.
kick some ass.
Yep.
But
And I have the whole thing written down here.
oh, do you?
I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scare me far less than this one. Everything they sacrificed will be for nothing if we do not stand together. Put aside your squabbles, presume nothing except this. If you return, you will return as brothers and sisters. Mark my word, we're going to need a miracle.
Acting classes. They are showing through right now. Amazing.
Hmm.
Um,
I did take one in college.
did you really?
Yeah,
Huh?
it counted as speech. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I would have maybe have done the same because I hated speech class. I didn't hate it, but it definitely was low on
Hmm.
on my ranking.
Yep.
Uh, oh, okay. Anyways, so that seems like a speech that he's giving. It seems like it's be like a finale kind of speech, but I don't think it is.
No,
I
I
think
think
it's
this is first act. I think this is the incursion into the X-Men universe and some,
well, yeah, because
yeah.
another thing that happened in the trailer was Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, came. It's coming at Doom, and I guess Doom stops it with two fingers. So
Nope, that was Stormbreaker.
it was Stormbreaker,
Yep.
and then okay,
And Meow Meow,
Meow Meow.
Thor, yep, Thor has Meow Meow, Mjolnir, and he's saying
I mean, like
something
right meow. He has
right
meow
Meow, he
meow.
has it, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
But basically, Meow Meow flies out of his hands. Mjolnir flies out of his hands and flies to Steve. And not old Steve, not Steve that we saw looking like he did in the trailer, but Steve who looks a little bit more Infinity War
Yeah, I heard that.
look, a little bit closer shaved beard, it sounded like, but definitely some of that vibe to it.
Can we get a t-shirt that has Steve Rogers holding a cat that's got like it's just paws and arms out and it looks like it's just meow meow.
Meow Meow.
It's just he's wrapped his hand around like the torso and then but the cat's hands are sticking
I
out. Like, can
mean,
we
if it's
start
a
having
feist,
t-shirts? I have a lot of t-shirt ideas and I feel like
it would
this.
be fun. I would say that it is a very true statement that for a lot of cats, there's a limited number of people who are able to pick them up.
Exactly. It all works.
Yep.
Um, what the hell are we talking about?
Doomsday trailer, meow meow.
Yeah, meow meow. Oh yeah, Steve Rogers holding him, and yeah, I've heard his hair, or he just kind of has a little bit more of that look from Infinity War.
Yep.
Or Yeah.
It's gonna be
So
more endgame-ish. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Um,
Catherine Newton is back as well. It's Cassie Lang. Now this one, if you're back now, if you're back now, we're post spoilers because this one, like, it's over. She's announced it as well
yeah.
that she's back. So I, I think there was assumption she was going to be back.
Wait, is she Stature in this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
She's always been, right?
Cassie
That's
Lang.
yeah.
Yeah. She's the third actor to play Cassie Lang, but she's the most recent one. She's
Yeah.
in Quantumania.
Um, which is fine. I don't
Hmm.
I don't and Ant-Man is there. We got Scott
Yeah,
back.
yeah, we already knew that
Not
from the
Scott
trailers.
Bakula, but Scott back. You know,
Hmm.
all the whole podcast is gonna happen. I'm gonna do
Hmm.
it. And is it well, it's also because Super Troopers 3 is coming out, and I just watched the trailer today.
Oh,
So it is
yeah,
relevant, it is happening, and I'm doing it all podcast. So,
yes, but has Scott Bakula played Dracula?
but damn, he could, right?
Hmm.
I mean, in like a Moon Knight or the Midnight Suns.
Hmm.
Yep, Scott Bakula Dracula t-shirt. And
Yep. Greg has a whole list of t-shirts, and we'll continue to mention them as we go through this episode.
hmm,
I'm making this up on the spot for Greg.
I'll do my
Comment with
best.
your favorite in the comments section,
I'll do my best.
and we may try and create them if you're
If you're a
commenting on it.
small run of t-shirts,
Mhm.
we'll run out of supplies quick.
There's plenty. There's good print on demand places now, so
Oh, good.
that
Good,
is
good.
nice. So now that we're done talking about Scott Bakula's Dracula, let's talk about the third Marvel movie we're gonna go see in theaters this year, Greg.
Which one's that?
Avengers Endgame
Oh yeah.
re-release. So this is the second time it's been re-released. First time there were a couple deleted scenes that were added. There's additional deleted scenes that are going to be added in as well for this. But also new footage has been shot. So this is coming out in September. I'm
Wait,
I'm actually
new footage has been shot? Like they
yes.
to add to this. It's not
To
like the
add to this, I think
unreleased footage, is what I
not
heard.
unreleased footage.
Not the Hulk stupid thing that they showed him.
Hmm.
But
I heard new.
yeah, let's look this up a little bit because we don't want to give wrong information.
I mean, it
We want
won't
to
be the
give good
first time.
t-shirt ideas, but not wrong information.
Yes. We'll feature new footage and a few new surprises, but I have heard from other locations that new footage does mean new and not like, and potentially like post-credit stuff that would lead directly into Doomsday.
Showrooms to confirm the added footage serves as a bridge to Avengers Doomsday. Okay. I took it as like they just had some stuff that they wanted to put in that wasn't in there in the first time or in the other re-release that they did. Okay. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Where and what? I would imagine it's gotta be Thanos. That's my first, like that's where my head goes first. It's some Thanos stuff.
Like a
Uh,
multiversal Thanos at the end.
because they kill him, right? Then he dissolves.
Yeah,
So,
he's gone. He gone.
but
Um,
doesn't mean
I
maybe
th-
it's in a different universe. So maybe it's in
I think it could be some stuff with Steve returning the Infinity Stone,
yeah,
and to
that makes
demonstrate that, like when he does that, that it's branching off these different timelines.
that does make sense. So I mean I'm pretty sure Thanos is coming back, right?
Yeah,
Um
it's definitely one of the rumors.
yeah, I think I like your idea better. That makes more sense that you because that is pretty important as to and that's what fans want to know. They want to know what the heck
Hmm.
happened.
Yeah,
So
and then so if they add in some other footage that they maybe had already shot, I won't be surprised if they had already shot some of Steve returning stuff or like an extended Steve deciding to stay with Peggy
yeah,
sort of footage. So I could see that being some of the like the deleted footage that's added in, and then something with Doom, and maybe it's the footage that we see in the Steve Rogers Doomsday trailer of Doom coming to his house or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Because I guess that wasn't actually in the official trailer, was it? Doom coming to his house.
Well, that's what everybody assumes is that it is Doom at the front door
Hmm.
of his house.
Yeah. So I could see something like that and kind of leading directly into then Doomsday.
Okay, I want to go back to the splitting of the sea,
Hmm.
and how Telecon is
Back to
exposed.
spoilers. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers.
Sorry. Yes. Well, yes, it was. So you've been warned again. My apologies.
We did
Um,
see that Telecon had been exposed in the Wakandan trailer.
did we?
So, yeah, we saw the throne.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Mhm.
Okay, so officially here, what or who is splitting the sea?
Gravity.
Gravity, Moses. Um,
Just gravity because of an incursion.
wow. So maybe the moon is divided now, and we're and splitting the tides.
Something like that, or just the fact that there's another Earth now in the sky.
I have a feeling this is some powers at play here. So I'm wondering who's.
Probably.
So is this a Sue Storm thing, you think,
Or
since
just
she's
regular
there?
storm.
Or regular Storm, maybe, but because she can control the elements, can she do that?
I'm not, well, with a strong enough wind,
Sure, but
like if
then
we're going, they're going really, truly Omega level powers for storm, like the Halle Berry storm,
yeah,
then I don't know.
I'd say it's Sue Storm. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
it's,
it's.
I think it's probably Sue Storm.
It's just we couldn't see how we
Hmm.
can't really see the waves parting. It just looks like desert. That's what it looks
Hmm.
like. So,
Well, and
uh,
it's dry though, so that is interesting because like you part the sea, it doesn't dry immediately.
Johnny Storm lighting it up a little bit. I don't know.
Nah,
I really
I
don't
don't.
believe that's the case, but
Yeah,
like, how else do you make that happen?
I think there has to be something massive. Now, there are some theories, so spoilers, 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 still in the spoilers, that it could be a three-way incursion.
Oh, a three-way.
Mm-hmm. A menage a, wait, no, an incursion trois. There we go.
T-shirt.
Where it's the Fantastic Four universe, the X-Men universe, and the main MCU universe. If that's the case and you have two other planets, it is kind of your
Incursion toi.
theory. Yeah, well, your theory of tides being messed up
Oh, sure. Yeah.
because you would have two different bodies pulling in different directions, and would there be a
This is you're
incursion
getting
flaw?
getting really graphic here. Oh, I believe we're a family podcast.
Yeah.
Better.
Two different celestial bodies. Wait,
Okay.
no, that still doesn't work.
That's still erotic when it comes to Marvel.
Yep. Two different planets. Nope, ego. Shoot.
Good
Um,
luck, man.
yeah.
Remember, there's universe out there.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yes. So basically the tides being divided could
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah. I'm still gonna go with Sue Storm in the end. I think that it's just we can't see it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess it would be funny that they didn't show it though either. Like people saw that it was divided, like something
Hmm.
was splitting the ocean. So, but nobody has mentioned that it looked like Sue Storm's powers because you can kind of see
The
that,
shimmer. Yeah.
yeah, the shimmer. So,
Hmm.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think you are wrong,
I
but
usually am. I usually am.
that's what makes for good podcast content.
Gotta have something to crap on.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah, what else? Anything?
two more things.
Okay.
First one, Ryan Reynolds says, "I don't think I'm ever going to center again." This is has nothing to do with Incursion Toise. This is about Deadpool. He's a supporting character. He's a guy that's great in a group. So if there's a
Still.
Deadpool, yeah, it's still an Incursion Toise. So
Who who would it be? Who is he gonna pair up with? Because that's what he said.
I
He's saying that
X-Force.
so like the old X-Force, are we gonna go with I mean I kind of agree that's a good place to go. I'm really trying not to turn that into anything. I feel like that's the next best place for him.
It gives you a team that's not the X-Men, but a spot for more mutants.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
like Psylocke, X-23 coming back there. Wolverine.
Right. And everybody wants X-23. I don't know if I want both Wolverine and X-23 together, but
No,
um
honestly, I think it would probably just be X-23. It's like X-23, Deadpool. I like the idea of Psylocke in
and
there.
what's her name is Psylocke again?
Olivia Munn.
No, oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Magic.
Yeah,
Never
no.
mind.
Honestly, Magic would fit really well into there
Yeah,
too. So, Bishop.
Anya
Ca
Taylor-Joy.
yeah,
Got it.
cast a Bishop. I think there are some really good actors out there who could play a really fun Bishop.
Oh yeah, not Cable, but Bishop this time. That would be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that would be. I think that's good. I like that
Hmm.
because I really don't. I mean, I don't not like him in a solo act kind of movie, but
Yeah.
I think he does play better off of. It's better you play him off of a something a little different, right? Not so much just
Hmm.
a one-to-one like it was with him and Wolverine, but now you have at least three to four other that he
Yeah.
could. And that was kind of like
Honestly,
Deadpool too, but
yeah. Honestly, and newly cast Gambit and Rogue,
ooh.
that would be pretty fun in there.
Tatum in there? Why not? That'd be perfect.
I said newly cast.
Nope. I'm saying Tatum
I still don't want it
for Deadpool. I
for
think
Deadpool.
that might get confusing, but not confusing. It just having two different gambits,
Hmm.
it probably won't work. So you would,
Hmm.
but well, isn't Gambit is in that was something that was also mentioned. Gambit is in the trailer for Doom. Are we still in?
We're still well. Let's go back to spoilers here. Spoilers, spoilers,
And
spoilers.
here we
We have
go.
been warned. Spoilers. We keep on jumping back to the Doomsday trailer. So Gambit and Shang-Chi fight in the trailer, and then I believe it is Sam Wilson is in the X-Mansion, and Gambit jumps down from a balcony and slams his staff into the ground, releasing an energy shockwave.
So what I was saying is that you can't. I don't think you can have a Tatum, Channing Tatum Gambit, and then this new Gambit. I
Hmm.
think that character's too beloved. I think right now.
Yes.
So not just right now, but in general.
Yes. Yeah. Gambit is a character that you can't have. Honestly, I don't know that there's any. The only character that you could have multiple of going into the future in the MCU is Wolverine, and that's if you want to do some solo Wolverine stuff with Hugh Jackman, and then have
Yeah,
a different Wolverine show up in the X-Men stuff.
right.
And
Because
even that, I think, is a bad idea.
yeah, but it's just it's already been kind of established, so I think that's why it's okay. Not good idea, but okay.
Hmm.
Um, so but you
Especially if
can't.
they don't introduce the new Wolverine for a while.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think you just stay away from that. So,
Yep.
um, either way,
One final piece of news.
I do. I will just say I will end with I do like the idea of Deadpool and Gambit there, like
Hmm.
paired up
So, out of spoilers again, one
for
last
now.
piece of news. Marvel is coming back to Comic-Con. Hall H, we've already talked about it. D23 as well is going to have a Marvel presence. There was not at either last year. So,
Oh, it's dry as a bone. Boring.
hmm, not how you want to have your incursion twas.
That, so that's really well done, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that to a whole other level, just because I wish I would have said it. All right.
Now that we've officially gone off the rails, let's move on to our main
Yeah.
topic, Daredevil Born Again, Episode 5. And non-spoiler thoughts first. And shall I go first or shall you?
Um, Go ahead.
This might be my favorite episode. I think it had the most, it gave us Matt Murdock character development and struggle. It gave us Fisk struggle, and it gave us a whole lot of drama in some other areas as well. That I think everything was played out really well in it, and how they developed the story for both characters throughout worked really well for me. To you, Greg.
I don't know if I have much more to add because I think I agree with all that. Is it my favorite one between four and five is where that gets a little bit
Oh,
sticky.
yeah.
Um, but it's tough. I'm not even gonna call it out yet. Um, I I feel more like it's this one definitely came to me and giving me the feeling of where I want to be in this story, and the I guess the feeling that I want to have for the story. What are you smiling at? Um,
Message I got.
oh, um, so I am happy that they are getting more on point with what I think we want and what the audience wants, and they really wrote this one really well. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it. I'm gonna say it was a great episode, and it now I'm hungry for tomorrow's episode. Like that is something I
Yeah.
haven't had, right? I haven't had that
Yes.
hunger necessarily, and now that craving is kicking in a little bit
hmm
stronger.
Yeah, this is the point where honestly, episode 4, maybe episode 3. Actually, no, I would say the end of episode 2 and then episode 4 is where the season should have just started. And it gives us it doesn't tread water. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I to be determined on my part. I think I have to see the rest of the season
Oh, for
to,
sure, they could redeem some of it,
yeah,
but I do think, like, in terms of watching pleasure, that's where I would say that it kind of got good.
yeah, yeah.
So let's move into spoilers, 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 spoilers for Daredevil Born Again, episode 5. You have been warned. Spoilers. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with Matt, Fisk, or Daniel?
Mm. Or Vanessa. Let's go. Let's do
Let
Daniel.
Vanessa, yeah, Vanessa and Fisk kind of go together.
Daniel. I can't I can't figure out what he knows and like what he suspects and what he doesn't suspect. Like if he's smarter than what I think he is. And I appreciate it, Gandolfini's like acting chops for this.
hmm
He's still kind of sleazy, but he's got this kind of genuine side to him, but he's still crooked and
He is he's the great politician who wants to tag along with whoever's going to give him power or to get him into the spotlight, make him feel powerful.
right, but at the same time, like you can sense like with BB, he's like he genuinely
He genuinely
kind of,
cares.
yeah, and it's just a weird combination that I'm like, I don't know. And the whole time during that car ride, I'm like, oh, this is it.
You did.
He's dead. And yeah, it didn't happen. But I
hmm
couldn't tell who was in the car, who's on the back. Was that the
That was
oh, the guy from the
the
boat?
yeah, the guy
Okay.
who Buck killed.
Yeah. But man, that was good. That was really well done by the writers as to
hmm
lead that in that direction. Like you think that Daniel's going down, right?
And
And
Daniel thinks that he's going down.
yeah. And Buck just is, and so I think Buck is still playing that like he wants him to think that because I think
Oh
Buck
yeah.
really knows for sure. He's like Buck, he knows that BB is probably feeding it, but he's kind of just letting that unfold because if he's not a part of it, then when it all comes crashing down, he'll have nothing to do with it, right? Or at least won't be
Yes.
blamed for it. So, but I think he knows for sure, and he wanted to put that little bit of fear of God in Daniel. So really well done. I love that scene. Yeah, and
Yep.
there's that
And
that that slight maniacal part of Daniel when he had the choice of the shovel or the whatever the blade cutting
hmm
trimmer, whatever it was, I can't remember. Jigsaw. He was like, he was like, okay, I guess I'm relieved it's not me, so I'll
Yeah.
take this and I'll help you hack this guy up.
Yep. Yeah. And I think, and just the conversations they had in the car too.
Mhm.
Like, it makes me think of the good part, only good part of Secret Invasion, like some of the longer conversations that Talos and
Oh,
Fury had,
yeah.
where it's just like you get two characters together and just let one of them kind of unfold some history, unfold some of what has happened to the other one, and watch that other one stew and squirm is just, it's compelling.
Hmm.
And they know how to write it.
Yeah.
So,
The conversation was great. I like we got the backstory of Buck,
mhm,
right? Which I know we'd always been kind of wondering where he came from. He just kind of showed up, but he was the one that took out or at least tried to take out the brother who Foggy hung out with as a
mhm,
kid. So a cool flashback scene there. You get that tied in with how Matt is kind of trying to save Bullseye at this point.
Yeah.
based on that kind of mentality of like just
I,
what's legally the right thing to do and like
mhm,
having mercy.
mhm. I love, and I wonder for some people if this maybe wouldn't sit well for them. The fact that like Foggy's the one who really led Matt down this path of mercy.
Right. It seemed odd, right? It seemed like it was the other way around in the other seasons.
Yeah, and
Maybe in the Netflix version, but
yeah. And so obviously I haven't seen the Netflix version, but I just like, okay, that's not what I expected they would do with something like that, but it gave Matt more depth as a character, and it
yeah.
really, I think in some ways helped solidify like some of the impact of Foggy's death on Matt.
hmm Yeah, it almost showed you like where Daredevil's at right now, or like kind of where he was with this guy deserves it, that kind
Hmm.
of like it's reflective of the character that we have seen in the Daredevil side of Matt, reflected back from long ago, even
Yes.
early on in their histories. So very unique in a way of storytelling, I think. Not unique in a way of storytelling, but it's an it's interesting how those two stories tie together to the two
Yes.
current stories that are happening. So I will just add that is one of the worst wigs I've ever seen for Matt. That's terrible. Like terrible. Sorry. Steve Rogers' hair is better in
Doctor
Infinity War.
Strange has the best hair though.
Oh, God, almost as bad as that. So,
Uh, yeah.
um,
So yeah, we kind of transitioned over to talking about Matt here, and I do really like the struggle of like that idea of yeah, Bullseye deserves to get caught. I've done what I can to save him, but when we're surrounded, when we're in a pinch, am I beholden to actually save him? And Matt, like the flashbacks, just work so well. Of
yes.
like, no, I'm not. But should I? But I'm not. But maybe I should.
See, how many flashbacks did we have? We had the Foggy and Matt one, and then
Yeah.
it kind of paralleled as well with, well, then we got the flashbacks with Buck,
Hmm.
right? And that
But
part of the
that,
story, and then Vanessa
yeah.
and
And Fisk.
yeah, Karen's been kind of absent, feel like a
Karen was
while.
very absent. She showed up at the very end of the episode.
Yeah. That was one thing I had written down was the great use of flashbacks in all of this. Kind of helping us understand why Bullseye is why Matt's having a change of heart, I guess, on this.
Yeah.
Which I think is crucial. Because otherwise, I don't know, that's the thing is it still just feels like a little bit off center with Daredevil himself. Not what he's going through, but just like the focus in the show is just I don't know. I don't know if I am against it or not, or because I like what they've done in going through the other characters and going in the backstory of some of them and the flashbacks of that to fill in some
Hmm.
of the understanding. But I also feel like I'm not really feeling it from Daredevil like I did in the Netflix shows. Like I really like felt his frustration and anger and hatred. So is that my dog scratching at the door?
I didn't hear anything that time, so
Okay.
no idea.
I don't know. So yeah, great stuff with flashbacks. Love it.
Hmm. Anything else with Matt that we want to talk about, or do we want to? I mean, I think the biggest thing to talk about is Fisk and Vanessa,
Can
and
I do want to
yeah,
mention one thing with that was mentioned was Matt mentioning to Bullseye that he knew a nurse.
yes,
So the
I
night
caught that
nurse,
line.
I was like, come on, Rosario Dawson coming back? Maybe? No,
Yeah.
probably not. Well, it'd be great if it did. I would love to have her back in there because I like the night nurse. I love that.
Hmm.
Again, that is when I felt Daredevil. Like he's really like just brutally
He
got his butt
putting
kicked.
himself on the line,
Yeah,
and he has his person in the chair,
right.
not in the chair, but person who can patch him up.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's what I'm kind of waiting to feel again is just have that feeling from Matt, that really personal struggle that I'm just not getting. And maybe
Hmm.
that's not what they're going to do this
Yeah.
season. But that's what it seemed
Uh,
like.
hmm. I would
So,
say that we've seen Matt fight a fair amount this season, but it's never really felt dangerous.
Yeah,
And so it'd be nice for him to get into a fight where it felt dangerous for him.
right. I imagine that we'll have a Fisk and Matt fight that will be pretty brutal,
Yeah.
especially with what occurred. So, but yeah, I agree. Like we're just not getting the stakes high enough in that sense. Like I'm just not
Hmm.
sensing that, right? So,
Yep. Yeah. So Fisk and Vanessa, we kind of got the flashbacks of how they met. The art gallery.
mhm. De-aging was good.
I thought it was
I,
solid.
yep. I yes. I what I found most fascinating, I think, about the Vanessa part of this
Hmm.
is this kind of what is it called? What's the episode called? Design, something by design or designing women? No.
No,
Um,
definitely not
uh,
that one.
it had this, I don't know, the way they were kind of setting it up. It's especially with the pineapple thing. Did you happen to catch the thing on Screen Crush? And they had brought in somebody on their panel that talked about the pineapple because she asked for pineapple juice.
Hmm.
Did
The
you
grand design.
the grand design? Thank you.
No, I did not watch that.
Oh, God, I'm probably gonna just ruin this, but like a long time ago, a pineapple you could like rent a pineapple because it was seen as kind of like this divine thing, and it was not often something you could have because they were hard to import, and so they're like a rarity. But if you want to rent one, you could bring it, have it at your party, and kind of give it this very, oops, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I don't know, high society kind of feel, but there's more behind this pineapple business. I almost want to pause and just have you watch it because it's really interesting. And like there's a theme it carries out about it. So I encourage you to check out the Screen Crush channel and check out I think it was in regards I'm trying to think, was it just around the episode? Like I think it was just based around this episode, but it was really
Hmm.
interesting. It was fascinating, and I'm sorry I don't have it ready at hand, but I jotted it down in hopes that Petter had watched it so he could fill in my gaps. But I am going to Google it quick just so I can not seem like a total dumbass.
Hmm. While you're doing that, Vanessa actually dead this time?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yep.
Dead from her injuries or dead from an allergic reaction to pineapple?
Uh, she is what was her injury? That was another thing. I was
So she had glass embedded in her head.
right. Was it that? I don't know. I guess it wasn't her temple, right? So that's
Yeah,
a
it was
pretty
in her
severe
temple.
shot.
Hmm.
Um,
And it was from a heavy glass. Like, this is something larger than a snow globe that at least had some of that weight behind it.
yeah.
And I'm sure Fisk wouldn't skimp out on something like that. Only 3 episodes left, Greg.
I know, but I'm also really wanting the Punisher to come up, so like
Hmm.
kind of excited that. I'm not. Why did Vanessa drink pineapple? Okay. I will just encourage people um to watch it on Screen Crush. I maybe we could put the link in the description. I will try to remember to have Petter do that because that's what he does. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Great. It's really cool. And it ties the whole like segment between her and Fisk and just her part in this story. It's really cool. And it just wrapped it all up in a nice bow.
Hmm.
Um Davies, Brandon, Brandon
Brandon
Davis,
Davies. Yeah,
Davis, whatever is
yeah.
he did an interview with her with the actress plays Vanessa, and I'm terrible at pronouncing her name, and so I apologize. I'm not even gonna try. It sounds like she's dead.
Yeah.
Dead, for
Eyelet
sure.
Zero?
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Islet Zier. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um.
did all of that without looking it up. So there's a few different things just quickly, like from Reddit, but basically foreshadowing the like how damaged her memory was and how like injured she was. There's the idea of the heavenly drink,
Hmm.
um, basically where she's ends up being a sacrificial, she's going to be a martyr, basically for this sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So Christian iconography. This is this side of it. The pineapple
Mhm.
relates this is AI. I'll just put it out there. But I think they're extracting it from the Screen Crush video. The pineapple relates to old Christian symbolism for immortality due to its resemblance of the pine cone and represents the mind/soul tying into scenes where the doctor mentions where the mind meets the soul. Um, and Vanessa drinks pineapple juice, which she formerly dislikes after surgery, calling it divine, signifying a cleansed, born again state.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. And that's so I found a little clip of the Screen Crush thing here.
yeah,
So yeah, that is 100% from that, but also kind of the idea that it has now wiped away her sins,
yeah.
sort of thing. It's like because she's forgotten everything, now she's a changed divine, like has been saved.
So, yeah, it's also like seen as like she's the sacrificial lamb. So,
Yes.
who is she sacrificed for? Which was a question I think that was maybe brought up in the screen question, which was I thought about it. I'm like, what a great question. So, if she was kind of killed off, right?
But she's
Who
the
was she?
sacrificial lamb for New York City.
Not a person, but a city. Think
Not a
so?
person, a city, because it is going to push Fisk to show his true colors more so than he already has. It's going to push him to a point that is so far that people can't turn a blind eye to it.
So she was needing to die because if not, things would have never gone far enough for people to realize how
Right.
wrong things are.
Right.
Okay.
It's kind of, well, we see it with the governor, where she's like, I couldn't back Fisk, but I can back Mr. and Mrs. Fisk.
Yeah.
And so now we're gonna see how Fisk is gonna lose control.
Okay. If it were to be a character,
Hmm.
who would you say that character is that she sacrificed her life for? Because he wasn't shooting at Fisk. He was going for Vanessa the whole
Vanessa.
time.
Oh yeah.
So if
Um,
she doesn't die, then who would? I don't know if there is anybody, honestly. Nothing really ties in,
is
but I
I
like
mean,
your
is it
city.
Bullseye? Like Bullseye's the only one I can think of. Like if she dies, does Matt even take the same approach
Right.
with Bullseye? But
I don't know. It's an interesting question.
mhm,
So, either way, that scene was pretty great. I thought that she was going to live for a while, honestly,
mhm,
and then they kind of threw that curveball at you. Came out
yeah,
of nowhere, but she was also very nice, or she didn't like the way Wilson
yeah.
talked to that nurse. So it
Hmm.
tells me that she was like this, yeah, like she had
This
a
was
change.
this was her going back to like when they first met, before she knew what Fisk was,
Yeah,
and
the
was part
cleansing.
of that.
It was definitely a
Hmm.
cleansing and or a rebirth for her. So
Hmm.
all cool. If they meant to tie that in, and that was the symbolism of the pineapple juice, and like as a pine cone, and that not as a pine cone, but that
Right.
if it all stems from that lore,
That's
um,
impressive, first
yeah,
off.
right.
I just don't know if, like, do they mention pineapple juice in the Netflix? Or, like, pineapple?
Uh, I don't, I don't think so. Not nobody that when as I watched people's reaction videos or breakdowns of this, nobody had said, "Hey, that is a reference to the Netflix stuff." So it could be in there, but I have not. I don't recall it, nor has it been brought up to me.
Hmm.
So, yeah, cool reference. Well done.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was mentioned in that, which is a little bit odd to just like bring it up out of the blue. But I think it is like it's very indicative of that she's not the same person, and in some ways, I think it shows also how little Fisk knew about her, especially if she dies because of an allergic reaction. It's like, how do you not know that your spouse was allergic to uh,
Pineapple juice.
yeah, to pineapple juice or to pineapple.
Yeah, which I don't think that's what it was saying. I don't think
I don't.
that was her cause of death. I don't think that. I think it was just complications in general to
Yeah.
the. But some people thought that. Some people thought it was the pineapple juice, and that was the you shouldn't. She doesn't drink it because it makes her lips all tingly. I
Mhm.
think that's just a
I
thing that
mean,
happens to a lot of.
that's just kind of a thing with pineapple juice
Yeah.
too. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next episode.
Oh, he's gonna be angry.
Oh, he's going to be so angry, but also just with the idea of like, does he blame himself
Hmm.
at all for it because of the pineapple juice or anything like that, whether or not that was the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, he's going to really blame everybody else, but I could definitely see that kind of being like the dark side within his head of I blame myself because it's the pineapple juice's fault.
But I want to kill Bullseye and Daredevil
Mm-hmm.
because that'll make me feel better.
Yep.
Yep, it's gonna be interesting tomorrow night.
Yes. Well, I'll have time to watch it sometime tomorrow, most likely.
Yeah, I'll probably be watching it tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good episode. I don't have anything else on that one. That is,
Yeah. I mean, it was really nice because it only gave us 3 things. We didn't have any more of Matthew Lillard's character in it.
right.
That was fine. We didn't spend much time with BB or Karen, and that was fine
Mm-hmm.
because it gave us a lot of depth for the characters that we did spend time with.
Yeah, it was a nice balance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I still want some more of that Daredevil gritty, heartfelt stuff, but yeah, I think it was a well-balanced episode, and that's what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. So with that, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section over on YouTube. Drop us a comment on Facebook or Twitter. And yeah, Greg, give a few ways you can help support the podcast at the beginning. We really do appreciate everybody who's checking this out. If you are checking this out, yeah, share it with a friend. Get them into it as well. But with that, I'll see you next time.
Goodbye. Bam.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/libsyn today. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.